Awesome. Welcome to this session. And today we're going to talk about something really interesting, something really easy to win, especially for kids or people or adults who are below 1400 or below 1600 level, right? So let's start it right away. So there are many openings you can play as white. First of all, it's e4, the king pawns opening. The second one is d4, which is the queen pawns opening. There are other variations like g3, which eventually gets into Catalan on and the other side. Let's avoid all of this. There's another one which is called as the Reti opening. There's the English opening, but probably something that I prefer when I started playing chess, and this lesson is for all of them who have started playing chess but who also have an idea about different openings. For example, let's say I always used to start playing the king's pawn opening, correct? So there are different ways to react with regards to this. E4, E5, very nice. I love it. I would love to talk about E4, E5 in our next class, which is of primary importance. But there are other subtle openings like E4, E6 for that matter that we call as the French defense. There are other things like E4, D5, which is the Scandinavian defense. E4, C5, I love one of these openings, one of the main lines of one of the greatest champions chess has ever produced, which is Garry Kasparov. It's the Sicilian, right? The Sicilian defense. Other openings can be some odd stuff like Alakind's defense. Probably not the best, but yeah, not the worst as well. Another one would be the Perk's defense. But today I'm going to talk about the Caro-Kann defense, right? How do you react to the Caro-Kann, and how are there ways wherein you can win quickly, wherein you can really win quick games as of like just start it off, clean your fashion off in style. And I repeat again, this is only for players below 1800, below 1700. So yes, you can definitely take your chances with this if you're playing as white. So let's go, let's discuss a little bit about the history, and let's eventually start off with what I'm gonna teach you. So e4, c6, definitely you got to play the move d4. That's the main thing, right? You always control the central squares. E4, c6, d4, then comes the move d5. There are many ways to react to this. For example, the advanced variation of the Caro-Kann defense, and there then comes in the short variation, which is based on Nigel Short, one of the greatest players of all time, and the world championship challenger as well. So probably I'm just kind of trying to discuss the variation. Then comes the Tarash variation of the knight d2. Then comes the knight c3 variation, which is the classical variation, and then comes the exchange variation, wherein there are a lot of like things going on. I don't know the exact name of it, but it's called like something with regards to b, right? A lot of complications. To just to like kind of revise these things real quick: e4, c6, d4, d5. There are many variations. This is the advanced variation, this is the classical variation, Tarash variation. Probably bishop d3 is one of the offbeat variations. Then comes the, yes, now I do remember, it's the Pano-Botvinnik attack, right, which I really used to play during my initial days. Had some good wins, had some bad losses. But what I'm gonna talk to you today about is the black dimer variation, right? Black dimer variation. And yes, let's talk about the black diamond variation. Let's keep it short and easy. You first play the move knight c3, and then black has this one possible thing, which is to go knight captures e4, I mean pawn captures e4, which is not best. I mean the best, and also the obvious. So pawn captures e4, and the best way to respond to it is knight captures e4, the best way. I repeat, the best way. the best way to respond to it is knight captures e4, and things like bishop f5 takes place, wherein there are a lot of complications, wherein knight goes to g3, bishop g6, knight f3, knight f6 probably, h4, h6, h5, bishop h7, and the game keeps on going like bishop d3, bishop captures d3, queen captures d3, with majority of the things taking place for black on the queen side, like moves like queen c7, knight b7, and long castle. A lot of complications, a lot of uneasiness is what I think, which is going on. The other variation is probably the exchange variation of the Caro-Kann, wherein knight goes to f6. You can either go knight g3, which is not good for white. I mean, a little bit dubious, but okay, takes, and this would result in an equal end game. But the variation which I would love to suggest today, let's go right from scratch. e4, c6, d4, d5. Yes, you do indeed play the classical, but then you do not capture it. You go into the black Diemer variation, which is to play the pawn to f3, right? And black, if you're playing somebody who is below 1700 or 1600, somebody who is not well aware of this opening per se, would play a move like pawn captures pawn. Why? Because definitely they want to win material. They are a pawn up. They already have an extra pawn, and they want to gain more by playing the move pawn captures pawn. So what do they gain? They gain a pawn. But what do white gain? What does white gain, or what do we gain as playing as white? Is extra development. Not only that, but if you think on the next side of things, when I use the word next, from our future perspective, we have this very good bishop which can attack this pawn, and also on top of that there is a lot of rook activity along with the knights which can take place on e5 as well as g5. So let's see. Like I said, I've played about 11 to 12 games, like federated games. I've only drew once. Probably I would also take the name. I probably drew once against international master Rahil Malik against this opening. He was very young. He was not an IM back then, but he was really a good prodigy, like, yeah, a very strong prodigy, an upcoming Mumbaiker, right? Like we would say. But apart from the other games that I've played, I've always won in nothing less than a very short time. So probably the first move, or the best two moves for black are knight f6, bishop f5. But many of them intend to go for bishop g4, keeping in mind, okay, you've developed the knight, but I will make sure to keep your knight under my guards, which means I will not allow you to develop this knight, or make sure that the knight is cannot go back and forth. Why? Because it's a relative pin. What is a relative pin? Something which is pinned against a piece which has more value, but not the king. So if you move your knight, you lose the queen. So again, we do not care about the spins. Probably a smaller player, or a player of less stature, would play a move bishop e2. But for the ones who definitely know this opening, would definitely go for the black Diemer Gambit. I repeat, which is to go bishop to c4. Any move that you play from here, any move that you play from here would result in something gross, would result in something not the outcome that you intended for, apart from the move e6. E6 is the only correct move. Let's say if you play a move like knight to d7, I would love to play the move bishop f7, boom boom. Why? Because it's very easy. After king f7, you play the move knight g5, and then there is a discovered attack. Along with the check, the king moves back, queen captures g4. There is no stronger defense. Even if the knight goes to f6, you go queen e6 with the idea of playing the move queen f7 checkmate, and it has happened to me a lot of times. So After bishop g6, the only move after bishop c4 is to play the move e6, which we will be discussing shortly. But another move like black loves to play or carry forward his attack with is the move knight f6. And you really don't have any reason to worry about it, because we have learned about a lot of mates coming from your level. You can go for a classic sacrifice like playing the move knight e5. I love it. Why? Because after bishop captures d1, boom boom, bishop f7 is game over, right? I love it. And trust me, do not worry about the variations. You can definitely take a look at the video back and forth, but I will be putting in all of the variations in the chat along with the description of the channel and everything else. A very beautiful way to kind of perceive things like this is when knight goes to e5, there are two attackers, which means this pawn is overpowered, correct? So if this pawn is overpowered, I need to make sure that I kind of somehow add another defender to it, and the only probable move that makes sense is e6, but then again you end up losing the bishop. So if your opponent is an amateur player, they might think of a move like bishop h5, which is again okay, two attackers, two defenders. I am not gonna overpower anything, or I'm not gonna let white overpower. But then comes the move queen captures h5. Why? Because after knight captures h5, make sure that the knight on d7 controls the king's escape square. So bishop f7 is a checkmate. I love it. I like it. So far so good, right? Another possible move is a move like bishop to f5 or knight to f6. So let's start with bishop f5. Let's see what happens if they play the move bishop f5, and then you probably follow on with the normal procedure like bishop c4, knight f6. Then probably you can go. I love to trick my opponents in the beginnings, especially if they are lower rated. Knight e5, right? This makes a lot of sense. Correct move is to go bishop g6 or to play the move e6. Let's say they play the move e6 and you castle. Like I said in the beginning, there are a lot of intricacies, a lot of post-mortem analysis, a lot of things happening all over the board, and the only correct move is bishop g6. Let's say if they play a move like bishop e7 in order to short castle, you can just play rook captures f5. Why? Because they've already lost a piece, which means they need to capture, and then you play the move knight captures f7. Boom boom. It's like a fork, correct? A double attack or a knight fork, and irrespective of wherever the queen goes, you capture and you can come back over here, you can come back over here to f7 and to e5, which also makes a lot of sense. And the best variation which black can continue with is to go bishop f5 and then probably play bishop to c4. They can go e6, and you can dominate by playing castle, knight f6, and this is about equal, like again knight e5, bishop g6. Just make sure you get your king off the record so that you do not have things like this in the future. Bishop e7 or bishop d6 for that matter, and probably you can start with an offbeat line like g4, right? Yeah, this is very awkward, but the best part is your bishops control this square, the other bishop controls the f4 square, the knight on c3 controls the e4 square, and you always have to look for the initiative. Let's say if they play a move like a5, then you go, because they're trying to gain control of the other side of the board, or the queen side of the board. So you can play a move like g5. Let's say they go knight d5. Again, putting extra pressure, emphasizing on this pawn, castles, knight captures g6, h captures g6, and you keep on following with the attack. So black Diemer variation is nothing short of anything. right? And because we have some time on our clock, probably let me show you one of my games that I played in the black Diemer variation. It starts off with e4 c6 d4 d5, knight c3, pawn captures e4, f3, pawn takes. And initially I used to always believe in the move queen f3, but it lags. Never play the move queen f3 because the queen is never good if you release it towards the center in the beginning, because there are a lot of pieces which can go through it or go forward with it when it comes to attacking. If you just play the move knight f3, this is exactly what happened. Trust me or not, I was on 5 out of 5, one of my like classical games, 130 plus 30 seconds. I'm playing this good strong opponent, probably rated 100 points below me, and my rating was about 1830, right? And then they play the move bishop g4, I play the move bishop c4 as explained, then they go off with knight f6, and boom, I did not play the move knight e5 because I was not aware of it back then, of the variation knight e5, bishop h5 and queen h5. I was not aware of it back then, so I played the move bishop captures f7. Now take a look at how things transpired from here. King captures f7, you go knight e5, they went king to g8, knight captures g4, knight captures g4, queen captures g4, queen d6 is what happened, bishop f4, and then they went queen captures d4. Trust me, believe this or not, it's very hard to see when you're playing a classical game and when you're already in a ruckus. Imagine a player who's 1750 and plays like this, and this is a checkmate. So, like I said, there are a lot of tricks and things which can take place in the Black Dimer's Gambit, or the Elizar's Gambit, as somebody or someone might say. Right? In our next class, we might be discussing, or we will, or we should be discussing about the Scotch Gambits, because Gambits are something of vital importance. You make it or break it, but it totally depends on you. Like you can see, there are a lot of things over the board, but apart from that, you can also see my name is Pratik. You can Google me up. My name is Pratik Shenvi, and there's my contact number. If you need any demo lessons, or if you need to arrange any demo sessions or classes for that matter, you can take a look at the link below the chat. And I've also have a FIDE rating of 1867, a peak FIDE of 1882, as well as an USCF rating of 2025. I've played multiple US events. So yeah, we can go forward with it. Adios, have fun, take care, God bless, and I'll see you all so soon in my next class. Sayonara. Hee haw.